Hello and welcome to Yadnya Investment Academy. Today we are going to do a mutual fund review. Let me first explain the methodology of the review. We will list and review the fund on various parameters and rate each parameter by green, yellow or red star. Green star means good performance, yellow means average and red means below average performance. In the end, based on total number of green, yellow and red star, you can take a call to buy this fund or not. Please remember all the fund parameters we are going to discuss here are based on 8th June 2018 data as reference, and we only review regular and growth plans of mutual funds. In this video, we are going to review fund name HDFC Top 100 Fund, which is a large cap fund launched in 1996. This fund changed its name recently and was earlier called HDFC Top 200 Fund. Let's now review the fund in detail. First, the fund belongs to HDFC Mutual Fund family, which is currently India's second biggest fund house in terms of asset under management out of more than 40 fund houses, and was established in year 2000. So for being a very large and experienced fund house, we give a green star here. Top 100 Fund was launched in September 1996, which at that time was part of Zurich India Mutual Fund and was merged with HDFC in 2003. This means it is active for more than 20 years now, and so for being an old and very experienced fund, we give it a green star here too. Fund is categorized in large cap category as it invests majorly in large cap stocks. Large cap stocks means stocks of top 100 companies by market capitalization in India. Now moving to next, this fund has a large asset under management of more than 14,000 crore rupees and ranks 4th biggest actively managed large cap fund. So this high asset under management speaks volume about fund's consistent performance and investors' trust in funds management, hence deserves a green star here too. Now let's talk about the Moolaha, that is the returns. We will first talk about the trailing returns from 8th June date and then talk about calendar returns. In trailing returns, we can see the fund has a decent long-term performance where it has beaten its benchmark index, that is BSE 100 TRI, as well as large cap category average in 5 and 10 years period, where performance in 5 years is actually very close to average. 3-year trailing return performance is actually also very near average and little below benchmark. Last 1 year performance is much lower than both, but we should ignore the short-term performance. So overall trailing return performance is a mixed bag with close to average in medium term and good in very long term. And looking at calendarized returns of last 10 years, that is from 2008 till 2017, which means returns from 1st Jan to 31st December of a calendar year, we see that there have been 2 instances where fund was beaten by both benchmark and category average comprehensively, that is in 2013 and 2015. Out of them, 2015 was definitely a bad year for the fund. And of course, there are some great performances too, like in 2009, 2010, 2014 and 2016, where the fund has beaten both benchmark and category average by a good margin. Even in bad markets of 2008 and 11, fund could manage the fall little better than benchmark and category average. In 2012 and 2017, it has given near average returns only. Looking at this, overall fund's calendar year performance is good as it has beaten both benchmark and category average 7 times out of 10. So overall fund has a good calendar year performance, an average medium term trailing return performance, and therefore we give this fund 1 green and 1 yellow star on this parameter. Next important parameter is fund manager. Fund is blessed to have a star fund manager, Prashant Jain, since year 2002. He is a BTech from IIT Kanpur and MBA from IIM Bangalore plus a CFA. He was working for Zurich Mutual Fund since early 1990s and went into HDFC after they acquired Zurich's India business. Prashant is also the CIO of HDFC Mutual Fund and is one of the most celebrated fund manager in the industry today. Prashant Jain also manages HDFC Equity Fund since year 2003 It is a multi-cap fund with more than 21,000 crore asset under management. It has a very similar performance as HDFC Top 100 fund. Prashant also used to manage HDFC Prudence Fund, which was a balanced fund with more than 30,000 crore asset under management. Now it has changed its category to Dynamic Asset Allocation Fund and is called HDFC Balanced Fund now. How this new category changes the strategy still needs to be seen. So all of Prashant Jain's funds have a very good long-term performances. There have been few question mark on Prashant's magic touch in last few years, as his funds performances have not been exceptional like earlier years, and some blame it on huge asset under management he manages, which is more than 65,000 crore. But we trust Prashant's methods and his research and wouldn't change our opinion on one or two average performing years. Name Prashant Jain should be enough to give this parameter a green star. Next parameter is top stock holding of the fund and understanding the fund's diversification. As on 8th June, fund has 58 stocks in portfolio with top 5 contributing close to 34%. Current cash allocation is less than 5% and rest all is in equity. Fund has a good diversification in portfolio and weightage of top 5 companies is higher than our benchmark of 25%, and hence we give this parameter a yellow star. Next parameter is sector diversification. Top 3 sector contribute close to 70% of overall portfolio, and fund is definitely very overweight on financial and energy sector, and therefore for this highly overweight allocation to top 3 sectors we give this parameter a red star. Next are expenses. Expense ratio of the fund is 2.06%, which is better than average expense ratio of the category, that is around 2.2%. Exit load of the fund is 1% if investment is redeemed in first 365 days, which is what most equity funds do. So overall, due to good expense ratio, we give this parameter a green star. Now those who like numbers, let's discuss few important ratios too. Standard deviation, a measure of volatility and risk, is higher than benchmark and category, which means it takes higher risk than both. Beta 2 is a measure of risk and is also higher than the category average. Alpha, which measures the risk adjusted returns. So -2 alpha here actually means that it could perform 2% lower than benchmark, which is not good. So even by taking higher risk, fund has a negative alpha. So if we notice, even category average alpha is negative, which means overall category is expected to perform worse than benchmark's performance. This has happened after new TRI benchmark was introduced recently. To understand TRI index, check our video on the same topic. Last is P ratio of the portfolio, which is around 17 and lower than benchmark's P of 22.1. So fund definitely has a good P. So overall fund is clearly a high risk and low return category fund and therefore deserves a red star on this parameter. Few other important info to note about the fund is that fund is majorly a large cap focused fund and hence has 89% in large caps. And this table here shows how rupees 10,000 SIP would have performed in various time frames and prove very good performance and great return this fund has given continuously, especially in long term. So if we calculate, we got total 6 green stars, 2 yellow stars and 2 red stars. With higher risk this fund is taking compared to peers, may be some concern for large cap buyers. To summarize, HDFC Top 100 fund is a very popular and old large cap fund. It is a relatively high risk fund compared to peers. Fund has given more than 20% per annum return since launch and is managed by celebrity fund manager Prashant Jain. Fund has been a consistent performer with only 2015 as a bad performing year in last 10 years, which speaks volume about Prashant's skill and consistency. Fund has large focus on financial and energy sector currently and clearly has taken concentrated bets on these sectors. Prashant funds are always in so much scrutiny that even a single bad or average year raises questions over his losing magic touch or not able to manage very high asset under management, etc. But Prashant brushes all these criticism with just one thing, and that is performance. He is known for his in-depth research and do combine top-down and bottom-up analysis before selecting a stock. It is noteworthy that Prashant invests all of his own investments in his own funds, and which proves his faith in his skills, which he has demonstrated multiple times by navigating the fund across market conditions and delivering great long-term results. Clearly, SDFC Top 100 Fund is a high-risk fund with concentrated bets and may not be suitable for all large-cap buyers. That is all we have on this topic. Before we close, we want to inform you about our new online financial planning portal where you can create your financial plan for free. More details in the description of the video. If you have any question on SDFC Top 100 Fund review, please do write in the comment section below, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel for more such reviews. Have a great time ahead. Jai Hind.